And we are going to practice how late is late. You are not late, of course. Right now it's just 11:58. So it's not 11:58. It's 10:58. It's not 11 yet, so we still have to wait. I think a couple of you need to meet me after the class, right? Who need to meet me after class? Okay. One or two, okay. Please meet me and Mr. Bulat after class. Where's the sign up sheet? Tonight. Sign up sheet. Okay. Start. Let's wait another 10 more seconds and we will start. If you sit in front of the camera, please sit down all the time, okay? If you can. Alright, let's start. Today we're going to talk about the facility part, okay? Gas contract. And if we can have more time, we will do some calculations. So gas specification, what should be inside the gas, what should not be in the gas. Ownership, product allocation, measuring equipment, revenue calculation, and hydrate. We have facility, we have number one is separator. Number one, separator, okay. And from the bottom we have pressure, PWFS, PWF, and pressure. We have gas going up, we may have some restriction. We will go through the safety valve and gas go to the valve head, and we have choke. We have choke, we choke, and gas will have pressure drop. Okay, first name, Rohan Agrawal. Don't laugh at him. Okay. Rohan, when we have choke, pressure drop, what happened to temperature of gas?
Pressure drop, temperature.
It get hotter?
No, it should cool down.
The temperature go down. Correct. Okay, we have temperature go down. It go to the separator, and we can separate the gas. Gas go to the cell. So if we choke this part more, we will have more pressure against the reservoir, right? And we can produce less. Okay, the outflow and inflow performance curve, they are related. So whatever we do on the top part, let's say we select a too small separator. So we select too small separator. That is equivalent to choking the well, right? Or if we select too small pipe, the pipe that we have is too small, we should use 3 inch and we use 1 inch. So that means like we close the well. We have a lot of pressure against the reservoir and we cannot produce well. So the top part matter to the reservoir, okay? That's the message here. If you have high temperature gas well, we can go to the choke directly. When we choke, the temperature drop, but it may not drop much. Even though we have some temperature drop, it may still hot, right? Because we have high temperature well. But if we have low or moderate temperature well, when we choke, the temperature will drop and it may be too cold. When it is cold, we form hydrate, right? We don't want hydrate to form. So we need to heat before we choke, okay? We heat it first so that when we choke it, pressure will go down, temperature go down, but it is still hot, okay? So that hydrate won't form. I think last year and 2 years ago and maybe 3 years ago too, there's a question on where do we put the line heater? Do we put it before the choke or after the choke? And I think 3 years ago, if you say after the choke, you get 0. But maybe last year, if you say you put the line heater after the choke, I think you get -1. Okay? Because I emphasize on the class. You must put the heater first before you choke. The reason that we put the heater is that once we choke, even though we have temperature drop, but hydrate will not form. Okay, hydrate is like ice. So we need to heat it first before we choke. But if it is already hot, we may choke directly. Okay? And then if we have gas can is at high pressure, we have high pressure separation. And if it is too hot, we may need to cool it down. If it is too hot. Okay, then we go to the gas treating. We remove H2S, okay, CO2. The reason that we have to remove H2S and CO2 is because it will corrode the pipe. Okay. What time is it? Is it 05 yet? Or 11:04? Today we are going to practice to catch who come late. But it's okay, okay? You're excused by university because it's before the ad limit. So we remove H2S because it's corrosive. We don't want it to corrode the pipe. Then we want to remove water, and water with oxygen can be corrosive to the pipe, right? And water by itself, if we put water into the gas pipeline, number one, when gas plant buy gas, they don't want to buy water. Okay? They want to buy gas. Number two, if we have water, water may form hydrate in the gas pipeline. This part just overview, we will talk more in detail, but what you need to get from these two slides is we heat it first before we choke. Okay? And when we choke, we have Joule-Thomson cooling temperature drop. So after we remove water, then we can separate C2 and C4 out, C2, C3 and liquid part out. So we, at gas plant will separate liquid out. Oh, second one. Simon C. Ajoku. Simon C. Ajoku. Hello, Simon. What do we do with C2 to C4 or liquid hydrocarbon that we separate out at a gas plant? We drink it or what? What do you do? What do you want to do with hydrocarbon that we take out from the gas stream? Simon, please help me. Drink it or not? We don't drink it, right? Gas plant, you do what? Inject it back into the well? Yes? What did you say, Simon? I have no idea. You have no idea? It's okay, that's why you come to class. It's okay. I want to check just that you are here. I know that you have answer, but I want to ask somebody first. Afshin Alavian Meher, Meher, AFSHIN. AFSHIN.
Here.
How do I say your first name?
Action.
Afshin. So when we have C2 to C4 at gas plants separate that out. What do they do?
Just remove it.
What?
Remove it.
Remove it to where? To the dumpster? Trash can? To the drain? Where do we put? Oh, just put on the ground. Or drink it?
Drink it.
No, don't drink it. So gas plant will do what? After they separate that, what do you think? There's no right or wrong, but you have to answer something.
Disposing it.
Dispose it. Okay. I don't like your answer, but it's okay. Foster R. Anderson. What do we do with C2, C3, C4 Foster at gas plant?
They sell it.
They sell it, yes. I think that's a better idea than just trash it. But, so, next time when I ask you what gas plant do at this point, I don't think it's a dumb question because some of you don't know the answer, but now you know. Okay? So if I ever ask it in the exam, you tell me that they sell it. Okay? Maybe this is too easy. Okay? What about gas? What do we do? Option. They sell it too? Yes, of course. It was a gas sale. Okay, they have to sell it. We do all this to make money. Okay, we sell it. We don't trash it. We don't trash any part of this. Let's say we have CO2. Do we trash it somewhere? Just put it in the atmosphere, or we sell it, or we do CO2 flooding? Something, but not trash it. We don't just dispose it. No, we keep it. What about H2S? Do we just trash it somewhere? No, we do something with it. We make it into fertilizer. Okay, don't ever trash anything. Okay, everything is money coming out. You don't trash it. Okay. All right. So that's the idea, and you get it, right? Here's the overall picture. We have gas from many wells. Then we have to do the test to see how much it produces per day, how many barrels per day. Okay. We have test separator. We have high pressure test separator, low pressure test separator, and we remove. So maybe we put one well on the test, and the rest go to the main separator. So here's the main separator. So first stage maybe high pressure, and we separate it again at lower pressure. And gas coming out, we sell it somehow. Okay. The reason that we may have to separate it twice at high pressure and at low pressure again is to maximize the liquid portion. You don't want to just separate it twice just for fun. No, that's not the reason for it. We separate it twice at high pressure and low pressure because we want more liquid, with the assumption that liquid is more expensive than gas part. I think it's true most of the time. And when you go to the field trip, they will tell you something more updated information. So we separate it again at high pressure, at low pressure. We sell the gas. What about liquid? Liquid go to another separation. So this is emulsion treater or heater treater. We heat it, like we cooking it, boil it, increase the temperature. We increase the temperature so that it's lighter, less viscosity. When it becomes less viscosity, it is easier for the separation. So water will separate and gas will, oil will separate out, and we put oil in oil tank, water in water tank. For oil, Simon, what do we do with oil? When we put oil in the tank, and what's the next step? We drink it or what? We sell it. Yes, we sell it. How do you want to sell it? Do you want to sell it with a truck? Have a truck come and take each part of oil every day? Or you want to put black unit to sell it automatically?
No, you take it to the refinery to have a job.
How do you want to sell it? Do you want to use a lag unit or you want to use a truck?
What kind is truck?
Truck? I think it depends on how much we produce. If we produce a lot, I think we should use lag unit, right? But if we don't produce much, just use a truck. Is that accurate, Amy? Good. So we should tell how we schedule the truck. Are we going to have truck come twice a day, or 3 times a day, 4 times a day, or just 1 time a day? So I think they come just 1 time a day, right? Depends on the volume. If we have more, they come more, and if it's a lot, we may use a lag unit instead. And so in your report, you will tell me how many times you want the truck to come, okay? Or you want to use a lag unit, and what is lag unit. You know that at the end you have to do the project, right? And in the project you have to write the report and submit to me. And you just, if you say, I will use lag unit, I think you get 1 out of 10. You have to explain what is lag unit, how does it look like, what kind of flow meter on the lag unit, okay? You may not know that now, but eventually you will know it. Okay, gas specification. We cannot just sell any gas, okay? And facility gas delivery point specification is here. Facility supplier agrees that all gas delivered to the facility gas inlet delivery point shall A. Be commercially free from dust. Why don't we want dust? Mobile J. Adsin.
Yeah.
Mobile. Why do I not want dust into the gas pipeline? Do you want dust going to the gas pipeline? What do you think? Can we sell dust?
What?
Can we sell it for dust? No, we cannot. So that's why we don't want it. In addition to that, if you have a lot of dust into it, don't you think over time it may deposit inside of the pipe or something? It will get dirty, right? We don't want the pipeline to get dirty. We don't want dust in the pipe. Very clear. Commercially free from hydrocarbon liquid, water in its liquid state, or any other substance that might become separated from the gas. Anything that can separate in the gas, we don't want it into the gas pipeline. One of the reasons is, let's say we have gas pipeline. It do this, okay? And when we put it in, let's say we put a little bit of oil in, not much. So oil will accumulate at a low spot, right? And eventually, we need more pressure to push gas through because the flow area becomes less and less and less because oil accumulates at the low spot. You not like this idea, mobile?
That makes sense.
Makes sense? Okay, makes sense. So we don't want to put oil inside. If we ever have liquid inside the gas pipeline, we may need to remove it. Okay? To remove it, we may put a pig, look like a ball, put it in from the pig launcher, and this ball will push anything in front of it out. Okay? And it uses the pressure of the pipeline to move it. We will talk more about that in the flow assurance part. This gas contract is just one example. Gas contract does not need to look exactly like this. It can be something else. But I want you to be aware that what is typically in the gas contract. Okay? And in the gas contract, so it has to be commercially free from other liquid. And the facility supplier will on their separate account furnish, install, maintain, operate, and cost to be furnished, maintain, and blah 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 blah. So this part says who do what, who has to maintain it, who has to maintain the equipment, who has to pay for it. This has to be on the gas contract, so that is clear. Okay, read it, please. All right. Another gas contract example, this is A, right? B, contain not more than 15 grain of total sulfur or more than 0.75 grain of hydrogen sulfide per 100 cubic feet. You see grain, who can help me? Let me call the name. Sterling R. Adrian. Sterling R. Hi Sterling. What is the unit of grain?
Unit?
Grain is some kind of unit. Is it a lot? More than 1 pound or less than 1 pound?
Less.
Less. How much? Do you know? I don't know either. I just Google it before the class. Okay? I don't know either. I see this for 3-4 times already. I teach it every year. So this time I decided to put it in the slide so that I don't have to memorize it. Grain is the unit for mass. Okay? But for sulfur measurement, sulfur concentration conversion measurement, for the measurement purpose, one grain per 1 grain of H2S per 100 standard cubic foot equal to 22.88 milligram per cubic meter. Okay, so 1 grain is 64 milligram. That's 1 grain. Very small mass. Okay. And grain is the unit of mass, but people use grain per 100 standard cubic foot, and we can convert it to ppm per volume. For example, 1 grain per 100 SCF equal to 15 ppm, 15.05. Sometimes it's 15.26. Sometimes it's why we have 15.05, and sometimes we have 15.06 ppm by volume of H2S, because it is at different reference temperature. One of them is at 0 Celsius, one of them is at 60 Fahrenheit. Okay? But this is a conversion table. So when we say, how much do we want to eat? Do we want it? Let's take a look at this. 10 ppm. We will smell something. It is okay for 8 hours exposure, but I don't want to smell it. 100 ppm will kill sense of smell very quick. Okay. If it is too much, 1000 ppm, you're dead. Okay. So H2S is not good, dangerous. And in the gas contract, they specify how much should it be. And H2S, if it's react with water, I think it's from some kind of acid. Okay, and H2S is kind of corrosive, so and it's dangerous. We don't want it. So we say contain not more than 2/10. Oh, that's oxygen. Okay. So we have. This is 15 grain is total sulfur. Okay, 0.75 grain of H2S. How much is 0.75 of H2S? I think that's about what, 0.75. 1 grain maybe 15 or 16. So that is less than 15 ppm. So maybe that is to make it safer. Okay. Contain not more than 2/10 of 1% by volume of oxygen. And the facility supplier shall make every reasonable effort to keep the gas free of oxygen. They don't want oxygen inside. OLUWADAMILAR. Middle name W dot, last name BANIRE. Are you here? How do I say your first name? Oluwadamila? David. Okay, maybe that's better. Why do we not want oxygen? We want it to be free of oxygen. Of course, we cannot sell oxygen. What's other problem with oxygen?
Corrode the pipe.
Corrode the pipe. Yeah, it can. If we have too much oxygen, we may have fire inside the pipe. We don't want fire. We don't want oxygen with very flammable gas, right? Methane is very flammable, so we don't want oxygen inside. Contain not more than 10% by volume of combined total hydrocarbon and nitrogen component, provided, however, that the total carbon dioxide content shall not exceed 8% by volume. So they don't want carbon dioxide either. They don't want carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide can be decrease the BTU value, right? Decrease the heat content, and it can corrode the pipe if it gets with some water, right? Have temperature of not less than some value and not more than some value. So you don't want the gas that comes in that is very, very cold, because it can form hydrate, right? If it's very, very hot, maybe it's too hot for the pipe or some other reason. So they specify, in the gas contract, they specify the temperature. Okay. Okay, this part, the residual gas delivered at the pipeline redelivery point shall not contain more than 1/4 grain of H2S per 100 cubic feet. Shall not contain more than 5 grain of total blah 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 blah. So they specify everything. Basically, the component that we have a concern on is H2S, other sulfur, oxygen, liquid hydrocarbon, or something else that is not natural gas. That is not CH4. Okay? They want to buy gas. What about inert? Can we have a little bit of helium in it? They don't want inert because they cannot sell it. Okay? And not more than a total of 3% by volume of all non-hydrocarbon gas. What about we put some nitrogen in? Nitrogen is inert, right? It won't catch fire, but they cannot sell it. You may have a little bit in, but not too much. So not too much means 3% by volume of non-hydrocarbon. Shall not contain more than 7 pounds of water per mmCF. Less than cubic foot. Oh, I have a question about unit. Ryan L. Baxter. What is the difference between standard cubic foot and actual cubic foot?
One of them's like which one's actually produced, and then which one's in the reservoir.
Oh, okay. Actual cubic foot is the one in the reservoir. So one actual cubic foot at the reservoir condition, when it go to standard condition, is expand a lot, right? So they are not the same, right? If we want to calculate velocity inside of the pipe, we need to use the actual volumetric flow rate inside the pipe at that temperature and pressure. So we use actual cubic foot. Okay. If you want to buy a flow meter rate for standard cubic foot. So you have to be aware of the unit. Okay. 7 pounds water. If they say 7 pounds water, can we have 8 pounds water? It's just a little bit more. Can we? Say no, right? If they say 7, it's 7. If it is more, what's going to happen? They will shut it down. They won't take the gas that you try to sell to the pipeline anymore. And there could be some penalty. So temperature not exceed some value, not less than some value. Okay, look at this one. This one is new. Gross heating value not less than 1,000 BTU per residual gas delivered at the pipeline redelivery point. So what can make the heating value of BTU per for BTU heating value to be lower than 1,000? Carbon dioxide. If we ever put something else, so if we put nitrogen in it, heating value will be lower. If we put carbon dioxide in it, heating value will be lower. Okay, this is dust or other solid liquid might interfere with merchantability or cause injury to or interfere with proper operation of the line, regulator, meter, and other equipment. So equipment that will come into contact with gas, doesn't like dust or something else, or any solid. Okay. And this part say who is responsible for what. I want someone on the front to read it for me. Do you want? What's your name? Kitty. Could you please read the whole thing? Oh, come here. Just help me. So that you may memorize better.
In the event of the gas delivery hereunder shall fail to meet the qualifications specifications set out herewithin above, either party shall have the right to refuse to accept such gas so long as the other is unable to deliver the gas conforming to such specifications. Should the volume of the gas be delivered not meet such quality specifications, then neither party shall notify the other party, which shall make a diligent effort to correct the situation. Any penalties or cost directly caused by the delivery or redelivery of non-conforming gas shall perform in Article V, gas shall quality specifications shall be paid by the offending party.
So whoever violates the rule, we have to pay. Okay? And if the gas doesn't meet the specification, one of them can stop selling or buying the gas. Alright? So why do we have something like this inside the gas contract? This is to make sure that who have to pay when bad thing happen. Okay? And sometimes it happens. Okay? Ownership. This tell who own what. For example, all carbon dioxide and entrant liquid hydrocarbon, if any, recovered at the facility shall be owned by the facility operator. We can have it like something else depending on how two parties negotiate who own what. Okay, but this is one of the examples. Read the rest. Okay, measurement of gas. Measurement to determine the quantity, quality, and heating value of gas delivered at the facility gas in the delivery point shall be made by facility operator. Look at this. Facility operator. They have to tell who do the measurement because measurement costs money, right? You send one person on the truck, drive it all the way to the meter, do the measurement. You have to pay them, right? So it costs money. Cost and expense of any such meters and continuous sampler meeting facility operator specification shall be borne by facility supplier who pay for the cost of measurement, maintaining all the equipment. So in the gas contract, the point of this slide is it has to be clear on who pay for what, who pay for the maintenance. Okay, and one of the examples is here. This is very long. What was your name? Please come here and read it for me. Yeah, with the microphone. I thank you very much. Okay.
All volume and heating value measurements, testing, and determinations of the gas delivered to the facility and redelivered to facility supplier shall be conducted through the use of prescribed in the American Gas Association Report Number 3, ANSI/API 2530, as now amended and as may be amended and supplemented from time to time, including but not limited to orifice meters, temperature recorders, specific gravity recorders, and continuous sampler accumulators. Continuous sampler devices shall be installed on the facility gas inlet delivery point and the pipeline redelivery point in order to determine component quantities on a monthly basis. The analysis shall be made utilizing chromatography or by some other acceptable method adopted by the facility operator for determining composition. The samples shall be analyzed for quantities of hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and hydrocarbons through C6+.
Alright, so in the gas contract, we also say, how do we do the measurement, right? So there have to be measurement according to some kind of standard, right? So we tell exactly how do we do the measurement. It has to meet what standard, okay? And what kind of measurement have to be done. So this is even in the gas contract. So, and it tell, okay, some of them have to do on a monthly basis. So if you have to give some kind of example on the gas contract, what kind of measurement that we have to specify. You may say, I have to specify about specific gravity, okay, and continuous sampler, accumulator, orifice meter. So if you don't remember anything, remember orifice meter. So on the orifice meter, the standard for the orifice meter for gas measurement has to be on the contract. We have to tell how the measurement have to be done. What is the standard to use for that? The reason that we have to tell about the standard or what kind of meter to do, because if the meter is not accurate, when I sell the gas, I may gain more profit, and the person who buy it may not get as much as money as they should, right? So the meter has to be correct, and we have to agree on what is the standard for that kind of measurement or what kind of meter. Okay. So this slide gives you some kind of summary. All gas delivered by seller to buyer at the point of delivery shall conform to water vapor, not more than 7 pounds of water per 1 million cubic foot of gas. Hydrogen sulfide, 1/4 grain. Total sulfur, 15, not more than 5 grain of total sulfur per 100 cubic feet. Temperature, carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen, what should it be? So in the closed book exam, you should be able to tell like half of this. Okay? So you memorize in the gas contract, we have to limit the vapor pressure, water vapor. We have to limit the hydrogen sulfide amount. We have to tell about oxygen, nitrogen. You should be able to give 4 examples of this. In addition to that, what can be the exam and likely is this number. Okay, memorize it. Just one time before the exam time, not today, but you have to memorize it before the exam time. 7 pounds of water per billion cubic foot. Okay, we don't want more water vapor than that, and different locations have different requirement for the vapor water content. Where is it? I think I put it somewhere. Okay. In some location, southern US, the specification is 7 pounds per million standard cubic foot. In the northern part, this can be 2 pounds per million standard cubic foot. In Canada, it's even lower. The problem of water vapor is you form hydrate. We have to remove it. We don't want it, okay? When it gets cold, Canada is kind of colder than Texas, right? So on Texas, you just do 7 pounds. On Canada, the number has to be lower, okay? For now, memorize 7 pounds. Maybe I may tell you this number, but I will ask per watt. If you say per cubic foot, maybe that's not right. Okay. Okay. Let's talk a little bit more on gas contract. What's this? Okay. We know about H2S level, right? And who has the experience about H2S? Whoever smell it, how does it smell like? No one. You smell it, Tristan? You smell it? What? Whoever smell H2S, how does it like? Yes. If it's too much, you don't smell anything. It kills the sense of smell. So if you smell something, maybe it's okay. But if you don't smell anything at all, run away, okay? It's not good. So we talk about H2S, gas quality requirement. This kind of similar to what we already talked about, but I want to tell you that in the gas contract, it's a lot. It has a lot of detail. So like non-hydrocarbon, how much? Not more than 3% by volume, objectionable liquid and solid and dilution. We don't want dust, gum forming, constituent, heating value. Okay, heating value is another requirement. Okay. Next one. Measuring equipment and testing. Unless otherwise mutually agreed to in writing by parties, buyer or its designee shall maintain and operate at its own expense. Who do the measurement and who maintain and who pay? Has to be in the gas contract. Okay. Seller may install, maintain, and operate at its own expense such check measuring equipment. Mr. Bullard, why do we have to have a check measuring equipment? Why? Or where do we put it? Do you want to comment on that?
Okay, check measuring equipment can be in the sense of an orifice meter. You may put a meter in parallel with the gas producer or in series with the gas producer. Your volumes will be checked on your meter against their meter. One of them be designated sales meter though, and if there's a discrepancy, you've got to negotiate that discrepancy between what they read on the meter. Selling oil is similar, except that meter can be calibrated. We'll show you that on the field trip, how we can do that. So the check measuring equipment will always be at the lease on the sales point. You're not going to get to put a check meter at the inlet of the gas plant. That's theirs. But where you sell your gas will be the place where that check meter will go.
So we have one meter, and we also have the check meter, right? So we trust another party, but we always check: do we lose the profit or not? They won't try to get more profit than usual, but we always check. So we have the check measurement, okay? Because it's important. It's a lot of money over there, right? You want it to be very, very accurate. So it has to be correct. Let's say it's off by just 1%. 1% of $100 is just $1, right? If you sell $1 million, 1% is a lot. So we need a check meter. Metering orifice meter in what standard and how do we do it? How should it be? Shall include the use of fan connection? Shall be blah 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 blah. Positive meter in accordance with AGA measurement committee report number 6, blah 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 blah. So this part tells if we ever use the meter on there will be up to what kind of standard. Okay, the standard for the meter is described. So this for electric transducer and flow computer and something else. This is about the notice or something. Read it, okay? And question. Okay, question. Clara M. Benavides. Clara. Okay. What gases should be removed before selling natural gas, Clara? What gas should be removed?
C2, C3, C4.
What gas should be removed before selling natural gas? C2, C3, and okay, something else that is not C1, right? Is that what you're talking about? You're talking about this part, right? Before it goes to the gas cell. Yeah. I think it depends on who sell to who. For the gas plant, when they sell the gas, if they just sell the gas that like C1, that's what's that about. But if it is lease operator or facility operator, when they sell the gas to the gas plant, we don't remove C2, C3, C4 on the list. Okay, we don't remove in the field. C2, C3, C4 remove at the gas plant. So for the operator will have to remove water. They will have to remove H2S. Okay, but your answer is actually correct. We try to remove everything else that is that is not gas. So we want to remove liquid hydrocarbon too. It's interfere with the gas pipe. The temperature of 100 F of cell gas is too high or not? Is it too high? As per this contract, it's not. Total amount of oxygen allowed in gas contract is generally less than the amount of nitrogen allowed. Yes or no? Okay. So nitrogen doesn't have anything. It's just inert, right? Lower the BTU value, but oxygen can do something bad. Gas contract example given in lecture specify the standard to be used for meter. True or false? True. They specify the standard to be used for the meter. Free water is not allowed, but water vapor of 0.1% by volume is allowed into the gas pipeline. True or false? 0.1% by volume. 0.1% by volume. 0.1% by volume. Who want to answer this? Jeremy and Bilisek. Jeremy. Where's Jeremy? Okay. True or false? Free water is not allowed, but water vapor of that much is allowed. True. True, right? So if I sell 1 million standard cubic foot, okay, 0.1% of 1 million is what? 100,000, there's 10%, 10,000, so 1,000 cubic foot. It's okay. When they specify it is 7 pounds per million standard cubic foot. They don't specify it like this. Okay, and that is too much, right? Okay. So this is like true or false question if it appear. The quiz or exam can be something else. Revenue. How do we calculate revenue? Price per BTU contract. So per MMBTU contract. Gas analysis. Step 1, we need gas analysis so that we know how many BTU we have. Okay. Step 2, metering at the cell point. What is the flow rate? Okay. We know that it's a lot of BTU coming in, but how much is coming in? So this is a value from flow meter, right? Usually percent of all different from the reference price. So when you sell something, we need a reference price. The reference price will have to be agreed upon two parties. It can be from other reference point like Henry Hub. I googled this morning. Henry Hub is in Louisiana. Okay, so that's a reference price. We have okay. This is one of the example. Tolani, did you stop and chat again?
No.
We can do it now. This is example